Hello, listeners. Welcome back to Exploring the World with Da Potato Sisters. Today, we are going to go and explore the coral reef.
Oh, I love coral reefs. They're so pretty and beautiful and full of life. I've seen tiny fish to large ones like sharks there. For me, a coral reef reminds me of going to a downtown area where you get to see people wearing vibrant colors. I'm looking forward to learning more about the coral reef.
What makes a coral? How long does it take, and who all live here?
Coral reefs grow slowly in warm, tropical water.
How slowly? Is it slower than our eating?
Yes, much slower than that. Corals are tube shaped polyps that build the coral reef's stone like structure. These polyps reproduce by sticking onto a rock or on a sturdy spot on the seabed. Then the polyps grow and form hard and strong skeletons called exoskeletons around themselves.
Exco. What? Is that like a skeleton on the outside of their body?
Yup, that's why it's called an exoskeleton. So they make them around themselves to protect their small, soft bodies. Coral polyps live in tight colonies. These exoskeletons are made from the calcium carbonate found in the seawater.
So, as these polyps keep reproducing by polyps sticking onto a rock or on a sturdy spot, building these exoskeletons and piling on top of each other, sculpting the various branches, spikes, etc., that one sees. Did you know that even if the polyps inside die, these exoskeletons will remain?
Wow, that is so cool. Did you know coral reefs grow from less than 1 inch to only 4 inches per year?
I guess now it makes sense to why when we go snorkeling, we are told not to touch the coral reefs and cause damage, as polyps will have to work that much harder and longer to put their exoskeletons built again. In other words, think of it if you worked very hard to put together your 100,000 Lego piece artwork that took you 2 years to build, and then one day someone just comes and breaks that Lego creation.
Oof. Yeah, that's how it is, and it does hurt, doesn't it?
You know, it would be cool if there were like coral islands.
Actually, there are coral islands.
No way. You're serious? Like an entire island made out of coral?
No joke. Coral islands are built up on the remains of dead coral.
That's creepy.
They have your favorite palm trees and that beautiful white sand you love on beaches.
Okay, now that's kind of cool.
They can be really big too. They can stretch for kilometers. A coral island happens when an island structure is based of the remains of the coral reef, or just partially. Most of the structure is built underneath in the ocean, and the part you see with the sand and the palm trees is called cay. These kinds of islands can be a chain or just one singular island.
What do these corals eat and make them so special?
Great question. Corals give algae a place to live and grow. These provide algae with CO2, and the algae uses the CO2 to make food using photosynthesis. Did you know that algae provides 90% of its food to the corals? The remaining 10% of the coral's diet comes from corals catching prey, like planktons and small fish, by shooting their prey with nematocysts.
Nemo, what now?
Think of it as a venomous barbed thread.
I wonder if corals can be found in the deep sea too.
Yes, deep sea coral love to grow at the depths of 6,000 meters, and they catch all their food, unlike the coral in the sunlight zone.
So, Tom, who all live here, making it one of the most busiest ecosystems of the ocean.
One will be surprised to know how much life and various animals and algae live here and support the entire ecosystem. Many colorful small fishes live in and among the reef wedges and crevices. Their vibrant colors and beautiful patterns help them hide amongst the reef, making them harder for predators to spot. But like other animal species, their looks, colors, and patterns also help them attract mates and identify members of their own species. Sponges and mollusks live directly on the reefs, while shrimp, crab, and lobster hide in the reef's nooks and crannies. With so many smaller fishes living here, nature has made sure there's a good balance in populations, which means that there are also bigger predators like sharks who also come and visit the reef.
Wow, that is so cool. And did you know that depending on the geographical location, the kind of animals change too? Like, for example, in the Galapagos, you have these huge marine iguanas that swim down to the reefs and feed on red and green algae.
Wow, that's super cool. I guess we'll have to do a full episode just to talk about these amazing and cool, unique marine iguanas in another episode.
Coral reefs are not just about animals, but also about the plants, that algae that live here that provide important nutrients to various animals.
What other plants grow down there that can help in coral reefs? Animals thrive?
Good question. Most commonly found plants are algae and seagrass are found. They provide food and oxygen to the animals and live on the reef. Seagrass are especially important because they provide shelter for juvenile reefs and animals like lobsters.
What are the main effects of climate change that's being noticed on the coral reef?
Coral polyps are very sensitive to changes in the water. Light levels and saltiness, too much of heat, or changes can make them eject algae. This process is called coral bleaching. And when this happens, the corals can lose their food and also start dying as they aren't getting any food.
Wow, that's actually really sad.
There's still hope. Oftentimes, corals do recover if given a chance. If we can control the changes happening in our environment, then we can give corals a chance to recover.
It will also help the reef if we are practicing safe and responsible diving and snorkeling, using reef friendly sun protection, being mindful of what we use in our lawns, like reducing fertilizers on lawns that might harm water quality because it washes into waterways and eventually ends up in our oceans. And if we are conscious and avoiding purchasing coral, and if we buy an aquarium fish, we make sure that it's been collected in a sustainable manner. Lastly, we need to spread the word about what we can do to help.
Before we end this episode, here's some fun did you knows. The Bahamas and Florida Keys are made out of coral islands. 25% of the marine life around the world lives in coral reefs. Corals have been found in fossil reefs that date back to being around 500 million years old. Half a billion people rely on the coral reef for food. The Great Barrier Reef in Australia is considered to be the youngest coral reef system in the world. It's only around 600,000 years old. Only.
Only. Wow. Okay, listeners, I hope you had fun listening to this episode. I hope you tune back in into the next episode for some more cool creatures and habitat facts.
Bye.
Bye.